The Logan Power Show. Welcome, everybody.
The Logan Power Show. The Logan Power Show. The Logan Power Show.
He is phenomenal.
The Logan Power Show.
We're here to empower you and impact
The Logan Power Show. The Logan Power Show.
you. It'll be a great show.
He is phenomenal. Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here at The Point in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, I got with me two phenomenal men who are not playing no games. One gentleman, he's on the soccer field, coaching kids, bringing the community together. The other gentleman, he's on the pulpit, on the streets. He's a freedom fighter. I got with me Coach Vincent Ashby and Pastor Thomas Dixon from the Coalition. How you gentlemen doing?
Fantastic. Good to be here.
How you doing, my brother?
Good. Glad to have you on the show. All right. So we're going to start with Coach Ashby. You are the person that's inherited the Ebony City Soccer Club, nicknamed the Little Pele's.
That is correct.
Yes, sir. Tell us more about this organization, the Ebony City Soccer Club.
Well, the organization started about 25, 30 years ago.
Okay.
Downtown Charleston. There was a couple of gentlemen that just happened to be walking by some projects, and some women that lived in the projects were having a lot of difficulty with their children getting into all kinds of activities. So they asked these gentlemen to see if they could provide some type of service to keep the kids out of trouble.
Okay.
And so one of the gentlemen happened to come from Panama,
Okay.
and so he was familiar with the field or the game of soccer. So that was his suggestion. Of course, they had little difficulty in encouraging the kids because nobody plays soccer down in the neighborhood. So they had to go run behind the kids because every time they would see the guys coming, they would run because they were unfamiliar with it. And so, but after a while, they began to lure the kids in, and they started having fun, and they started off with one team. And that was way back in about 1981,
Okay.
1980. And that's how it got initiated and started. And it's been growing, and it's had its ups and downs, but we're still existing today. We have a lot of adults now who played way back in the day, who are professional police officers, lawyers, doctors, and things of that nature. We haven't been able to save everybody,
Okay.
but we've been able to save a majority of kids.
Well, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to save kids. You want to make a difference in your community. I know for me, I played soccer for about 15 plus years. Soccer for me, my father never played a lick of soccer in his life, but he used to watch some old Pele tapes. I used to watch some of them old movies, and my father literally read a book, taught me how to play soccer. Son, kick the ball this way, turn your foot this way, and I became really good at it due to the fact I got really up there in that game, and I love playing. And my kids play for Coach Ashby. My son, who's my 6-year-old hero, I call him Mr. Pele himself. He had about 32 plus goals playing for the Pele soccer team. And my daughter, I call her the strong one. She's only 9 years old, but she's rough. She didn't take nobody play with her. She's tough, like my wife. My wife played soccer all the way through high school. So we're a blessed family, and this is an organization. I'm gonna tell you right now that kids they play year round, love playing the game, and they play no joke. When you play Little Pele's, when we get in any league, there's no mercy. That's how it's gonna be. They play non-stop. So, sir, because you are a organizer to help kids with soccer, soccer is not really things we talk about a lot. But on a global scale, soccer is that it sport. When you think about countries across the world that watch it, and you could have 100,000 plus people watching you play soccer, and you literally can be like the President of the United States, and you are a soccer player. You're not the ambassador. What are some things that you're trying to do right now? Kind of, we are expanding now. What's some things that you have personally in your heart that you want to see change in regards to the organization, or you want to see happen when it comes to the game of soccer?
Okay. I have two professions. One as an encouraging and inspiring kids, but I'm also by trade a counselor and social worker.
Yes, sir.
So when I'm out on the field, I'm not just teaching how to hit the ball and things of that nature. We're also looking at the family, because without a family, the kids cannot develop. They can't get to the soccer field and things of this nature. And so whatever the kid brings in from whatever's going on at home or at school, we try to work the kinds of issues out on the soccer field. What we would like to do in the future, transportation is an issue, because many kids do not have transportation. We accept kids from anywhere in the Tri-County area, and we never turn anyone away because of their inability to pay for registration and things of this nature.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of soccer organizations that are much larger than we are, but no one can beat our price and the love that we give to our kids.
Yeah.
So we have acquired the use of state-of-the-art soccer field in the downtown area. We are also in the process of trying to recruit kids in the north area in the vicinity of Jenkins Orphanage, and particularly around the schools that could benefit from the programs that are in that area.
Yes, sir.
So wherever the need is, our job is to work with kids, so hopefully that in the future they won't be incarcerated, because the incarceration rate for African American males is high. And we are also interested in encouraging the kids to do well in school, and I have made several visits to the school in terms of helping parents deal with the administration and making sure that the kids will get a fair deal.
Definitely. And for those who are watching right now, the information on the screen, how to get in contact with Coach Ashby and what his organization is doing. It is a blessing to those that like to know more about what they're making a difference. I'm going to tell you, the pricing is very reasonable. It's a blessing to me and my wife. I'm telling you personally, for me, my kids love it. It's year-round, but you're going to work hard. You're going to put the effort forward. You have coaches who are dedicated, who want to see change. Coach Ashby is one of those trailblazers, and we look forward to seeing more great things out from him. But we'll get back to him in 1 second. We'll talk now to the pastor, the Mr. Freedom Fighter. He don't play no games now. Pastor Dixon, sir, how's everything going?
All is well, considering we have had a little bit of lull in the major tragedy issues.
Yes, sir.
But of course, we still have the ongoing issues about violence in our community that continues to plague us as a people, not only here but nationally. So, for me, it's not about the major tragedies that come through when it comes to stop the violence. It's about the tragedies that we see in our community every day.
Yes, sir.
I can't prioritize death, and I'm not going to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all lives matter.
All lives do matter. All lives do matter. And for yourself, being one of the founders of the coalition, a pastor in Somerville, and now you've been kind of busy in 2015, really ever since. We've been always busy, but they've been seeing your face more and more on the television screen. You're always for change, and you're an advocate for change. let people know more about yourself, of who is Pastor Dixon and what you are doing, so that people get more familiarized with what you are doing right now, sir.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that really don't understand this Pastor Dixon whole thing, because even though I am a pastor, I don't have a four-wall church. I don't have a pulpit ministry anymore. I started a church in Somerville 8 years ago, but 4 years ago I just felt like I wasn't being fulfilled. So I was led out of that church and back to my roots. I came up in the hood in Chicago. I'm a 30-year vet. I'm an OG, as they say, back in the hood, So when I came up out of that pulpit ministry, I was led right back down to where I started from, ministering to people on the street, but not with a Bible, not beating people up with scripture, but showing the love of Christ to folks. And somewhere along the way, I always get asked, why do you do that? And then I get a chance to share the gospel with them, As a former alcoholic and drug addict, I've been to prison. I got a number, So, for 30 years of my 63 years on this earth, I contributed to the problem in the hood. So I woke up one day by God's grace, or he woke me up one day and he decided, okay, now is the time. And so everything that I had been through prior to that became my resume for the job that I do right now, my job description. So all of those different skills I acquired over the many years that I was out doing the devil's work, now I'm out here using those skills for God's work. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. It's all what's about. I think that we need pastors that are, I guess, I heard this before, me and my wife were talking about it. We call it, you don't be a jelly-back Christian.
True that.
Or you don't want to be a jelly-back leader or somebody who is all talk, no action. I know that people that we bring to the Logan Power Show are very much, they talk it and they have action applied to it. And so for yourself, since you are an advocate for change in regards to especially our community, the African American community is suffering more than anybody right now on a United States scale. Now on a global scale, we're making changes, but I guess the image of us has not really been portrayed across the globe. I tell people all the time, when you do your homework about African Americans, this pigmentation, when it comes to dominance of a money, power, we have a lot of it. The problem is that if you don't do your homework, you think you're below, but you're really not. I think that we have to understand, we have to bring it together and love everybody walks life. But what would you like to see change? Because, right now, the thing that's going on in Chicago, very unfortunate. My family's from Chicago, the South Side. So for me, seeing young men dying at such a high rate is very tragic. I tell you from personal experience, my cousin, who was my brother, got killed at 24 years old, 2000, January 24th, got ran over by a guy who mistakenly thought he was trying to talk to his girlfriend, and my cousin was walking the girl to the car, worked at the YMCA together. My family started to be a gentleman. It was late at night, he walked into the car, dude had a bad situation, ran over my cousin, and kept it going. He went from Chicago to Indiana, they caught him. The news got it wrong, thought it was his girlfriend. My aunt was upset and said, no, that's what we were taught. We're taught to be men. We're taught to treat a lady with respect. And I remember my family had emailed me and said, the judge wants to know how much time you think he should get. And I said to myself, I lost my brother. If you gave him 80 years, that wouldn't take away a family. It took me a while to walk in for forgiveness because I lost home. And for me, where I come from, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, we going at it. But God told me the best thing you can do is walk in love with these people today, because these young people are dying. And if we don't wake up, if we don't have pastors or people like yourself that are really trying to help the community, we're not going to have no one around anymore. When's the last time you seen a YMCA and a whole bunch of kids packed it out these days? When's the last time you seen an after school program just where kids can go? I remember YMCA for me was not that expensive. Today, it's like, you paying a car note, $400 a month, $350, and then you say, okay, the church doors can only be open a certain part of time. You can't ask the pastor to be here 24/7. Someone got to go to bed. Someone's got to be up. I'm rambling on because, for me, I've had enough. That's why we had the Logan Power Show. These gentlemen right here, I'm guaranteed this. I'm telling you from personal experience. They don't play no games. I don't have to say, Pastor Dixon, what you got going on. He posted every day. Coach Ashby, what you need me to do? Hey, sir, you're coaching my kids. Can I help out? I love coaching the game. I love seeing young kids get to the next level. I love it. I love this stuff. But, for me, Pastor, going back to yourself, what do you want to see change? Because, I hear people saying, man, I hear the rates. We always talk about how many people is dying. We know that. But what if you can say yourself that you said that God's giving, what is a solution to help with this transition that we need to go to right now?
Yeah, well, first off, let's clarify that I'm not a Charleston nor a Low Country native.
Yes, sir.
I'm a South Side of Chicago too.
Yes, sir.
What folks call Chirac, I call home. Okay, so this whole thing about this violence thing with police and officer-involved shootings or whatever. My first involvement in one of those situations was in 1961 in the projects of Chicago, where a very good friend of mine was shot in the back by a cop because he was good with his fists, and the cop tried to handle him, and my man got the best of him, but he broke and ran, and all it took for that cop was to see him run, and he shot him in his back and killed him. This was 1971. This 2015. So the game remains the same. Ain't no different. What's happened though over the years is that we as a people, we decided somewhere along the way that instead of, and I believe it's a learned behavior over 400 years of oppression in America, that we as a people are not built for working together. For some reason or other, we have not learned the lessons that the Jews have learned, that whites have learned, that the Chinese have learned. We as an ethnicity, especially American black people, we don't work together. And because we don't work together, we're easy prey, we're easy victims to anybody that wants to abuse us, such as the system in which we live here, a system that brought us here as slavery and has been designed to keep us oppressed, actually. And that's why we see the mass incarceration of the black man. That's why we see alcohol and drugs in abundance in our communities. That's why we see disparities in education, and the list goes on and on and on. But for me, what I would like to see as far as how we fix this problem, first off, that we understand that we are our brother's keeper. And we have to understand that our involvement in each other's lives affects each other. You see, I can fix my household. That's great. My 2 children graduated college. They're married. They're doing well. They're employed and everything. I did what I needed to do inside of my household. But if I didn't go next door and next door there or to my village in order to try to fix the problem and make it the same way that my household is, when my next door neighbor, when that other neighbor down the street comes and kills my kid, now it's a problem. You see, but I didn't do what I needed to do in my community to protect even my household, because I said I did my job inside of my house. If we don't get outside the 4 walls of our own households and minister in our communities, if we don't get outside of the 4 walls in our churches and minister in our communities, if we don't get out of the 4 walls or the mental slavery that we are trapped in as a people and minister to our community in order to bring back peace and unity to our community, we'll never get where we need to go, and this thing is going to continue until we're annihilated as a people. I wish I had a better outlook right now, but much prayer. I do have hope though, because as we turn the corner into 2015, there's been a shift, there's been a tilt, where through these tragedies there's been more, and the advent of the cell phone and video cameras, there's been more exposure and more information coming out about the problem and more willingness to address the situation. So I do see that there will be a change, but just as the process has been long-standing with deep roots, the process of uprooting the problem and bringing forth a fresh life and a new tree of life in our community is not going to be an overnight process.
Yes, sir.
But we got to do something now, though, because we can't keep having as a people these tragedy moments. It would be an Emmanuel 9, which actually is 12, because there are 3 people who are still going to suffer for life over this, the tragedy of that, the Walter Scott situation, or whether it's Ray over on the block tomorrow. It doesn't make any difference. Tragedy is tragedy, and we need to stop this madness.
Definitely, we want to stop the madness, and but that's when we got good lights, like you, Coach Ashby.
Yes.
And I know for you, what you're doing is very transparent, because of what you're doing in regards to soccer, everyone can relate. Because on the soccer field, no such thing as color barriers. Everybody can play. What are some strategies you want to see happen in 2016 when it comes to your organization in regards to getting more kids to embrace the game of soccer?
That's a good question. I need to do a mental thought here. I think we have to try to be creative. Again, everything goes back to working with parents, trying to get the word out in reference to what we do to show that this can benefit our children, not only the males, but also females. It gives them something to focus on, so that they're not always sitting at home watching TV. And if kids are kind of not having anything to do, then they find things to do, and those things usually aren't that great.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I want to sort of piggyback a little bit on what he was saying, and that is, the old saying is it takes a village to raise a kid. I don't have any children personally currently that are involved in terms of playing soccer.
Yes, sir.
My oldest daughter is a coach, but she played a long time ago, so she's coming back. So we need a lot of young people to come back, those that are being productive, because it takes a village to raise the young kids.
Yes, sir.
And folks like him and myself, we're not going to be around forever.
Right.
And so we're only going to be here for a short period of time. So it's imperative that younger people begin to emulate and find the importance of what's happening in their street, in their neighborhood, nationally, being able to empower themselves to make change occur. And so this is very important, because we're being affected by a lot of different things that we see on TV. Our morals are changing, and we need some of the old morals that help produce people like him and myself and yourself.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to try as many innovative things that we can in terms of getting the word out regarding the game of soccer. But we also teach empowering. We want our kids to have faith in themselves. We want our kids to learn about giving back into the community, start thinking about entrepreneurship, being able to start your own business. By starting your own business in the community, you're also helping out our community, and the money stays right back into the community.
Yes, sir.
Education is key, but not everybody needs to have a 4-year or a master's degree. They can also learn a trade and make a good living. Carpenters, plumbers, they need to be respected. Those are self-fulfilling, and they are occupations that are necessary and that are needed on a day-to-day basis.
Yes,
by
sir.
anyone.
Yes, sir.
So we work real closely with the kids. We plan to continue doing what we've been doing. As you know, we started our indoor program here recently downtown at the Boys and Girls Club, and that's going really good. Kids have a lot of fun. It's live action.
Yeah.
And soccer-wise, in terms of the techniques, it improves their techniques quickly because we're dealing with a shorter, smaller field of play. So they enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And the kids that are not doing it, they're missing out.
Missing out, definitely. And Pastor Dixon, final thought of what, tell people definitely what you want to see for 2016. What are you be working on for you and the coalition, or what's the game plan for 2016?
Yeah, first off, I just want to applaud Coach for the work that he's doing, because no matter where I'm at in the community, the one thing about it is all of the people that I work along with, I have started out as children. All of us, you know, and if you start with that seed and you plant it in the right soil, then ultimately you're going to have the right fruit being born in that life. And Coach, you're doing it, and I appreciate that for sure. You're gonna make either my job or whoever follows me, you know, in the future, comes behind me in the future, that job much easier by what you're doing, the ground that you're sowing right now, and I appreciate it. And also you too, Calvin. Thank you so very much.
Sir.
For me, moving forward, and for the coalition and all of the people that I work along with in the social justice realm, Healthcare Workers United, CAFE, Carolina Alliance for Fair Employment, South Carolina Progressive Network, Low Country Peace. I work with all of these organizations. The Students Advocating for Multiracial Education, Quality Education Project. I work along with all of these different organizations, and what we're doing collectively is we're dealing with the issues that the children are going to face as they get older, and trying to level the playing field so that racism is not a factor that they're going to have to deal with. Economic disparity is not a factor that they're going to have to deal with. Educational disparity are not factors that they're going to have to deal with. We're fighting in all of these different areas, so the coalition is not just stop the violence, even though that is our primary forte. We're trying to make it so that the streets are safe, so that the seeds that you plant don't get uprooted and taken away before they have a chance to germinate and bear fruit.
Sure.
So all of these different areas, with the coalition, we believe in Dr. King's phrase that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we deal with injustice on a multi-tiered, multi-level plane. We work along with Raise Up for 15, trying to get a living wage for people.
Yes.
We're down at MUSC protesting in order to try to get rid of the ongoing discrimination there that should have been cleared up since 1969. We work along with, we're fighting in the educational system with the Charleston County School District,
Yes, sir.
Dorchester County School District, Berkeley County School District, because children of color are not getting a fair shake.
Yes, sir.
And of course, we're fighting with law enforcement agencies for fair and equal treatment of African Americans, and particularly males, but females and children and even seniors.
Yes, sir.
And we're fighting with city halls across the Low Country and beyond in order to get things right. So it's a vast job that we're involved in. We deal with a lot of the pieces of the puzzle on the table, because we feel that unless we address all of the issues, then we're still leaving cracks available for the children that Coach is bringing up to fall through. And we're not going to continue to feed the cemeteries or the prisons. We're not going to do that. We're going to offer an opportunity and a safe community for our children to be raised in, so that they can live out the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Definitely. So I thank you again, gentlemen, for gracing our stage. For those that are watching, the information is on the screen. I want to let you know that these gentlemen's time is going to come up. It's going to require trailblazers like myself, other young people who's saying, like, you know what, I may want to be the next Pastor Dixon. I want to be the next Coach Ashby. Not saying the same thing, but the same spirit of change. And that's what I'm advocating for you all to do, is to make a difference, make a change. The information is on the screen, how to get in contact with these gentlemen. I guarantee it, your life will be the same. Well, that's all the time I got. My name is Calvin Logan with the Logan Power Show. We love you, we appreciate you, and we'll see you on next week.